Do I want to be actively involved or do I want to be passively involved? Welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it. Owning real estate is the worst thing you can do. Direct ownership is the worst idea for the vast majority of people. And it's just true, right? Now, I'm not telling you not to own real estate. I think everybody should own some real estate, but there's a lot of different ways to go about it. And you got to decide what the right fit for you is. And that might be direct ownership. All right. And by direct ownership, I mean, buying the duplex, buying the single family home, buying the small apartment building, the commercial building, whatever it might be, whether it's you or your partner, you and partners, whatever that might be. That's direct ownership. And it may or may not fit you. I think, in fact, that it doesn't fit the vast majority of people. Okay. Now, when we're looking at, hey, we got some capital, we want to invest in real estate, what's the right strategy? We have to think about what's going on in our life. We have to think about, do we have time and energy to devote to that piece of real estate, right? And are we wanting to buy ourselves a second job, a business, right? That's what you're doing. You're not buying a passive piece of real estate. If you want to go passive, you can invest in a syndication. Look, Endurus Capital, my company, we offer syndications for people that want to be passive. They have direct ownership or they have ownership in that real estate, but it's passive. They don't have to do anything. Okay. Now, you lose control, but you also gain the ability to continue to grow that without much work at all, right? And while it's being held, there's no work. The only work is to do the due diligence and make sure you're putting your investment in the right, or putting money in the right investment product vehicle, okay? So that's passive. There's also REITs. There's also DSTs, right? There's funds. There's all kinds of different avenues. Some have the benefits, the tax benefits of real estate. Some don't, but those are the passive routes. But don't fool yourself by thinking you're going to go buy a duplex, a single family, commercial building, whatever it is, and it's going to be passive. It's just not. There's a lot more work that goes into it. You have to do all your due diligence, right? There's a lot more due diligence on the front end. There's a lot more work finding the right deal in the front end. There's a lot more work then after you close on the deal. You are completely responsible for the success of it. And you think, well, I'm just hire a third-party property manager, or I'm going to buy one of these turnkey properties. Trust me, there's still plenty of work that goes into it. And you still have to respond when you get those calls that come in. You still have to respond. You still have to be responsible for the property. And I don't care how good you think your property management company is, how good you think that the turnkey company is. It's just not passive. Now, there's varying degrees of passivity, right? If you're going to manage it yourself and you're going to do the showings and you're going to do all that, certainly that's not passive. Okay. If you are going to hire the property management company, that's a lot more passive, but you still need to be ready to run a business. You are running a business. You are still running a business. So be aware of that. Now, here's what I want you to think of when you think, do I want to own the duplex or do I want to invest passively? I want real estate. I know it's a great tool. That's what we're going to be focusing on buying, right? Do I want to be actively involved or do I want to be passively involved? And so by thinking about your life and going, what am I doing today? Okay. So what did my life look like over the last year? And what do I think it's going to look like this year? And do I have time to add on something new, right? Do I have any time to add something new? Um, I've thought about this a lot, but I haven't thought about directly like this until I had a guest on my show, on my podcast. I believe it was Jeremy Dyer, who was on pretty recently. Listen to that episode if you haven't. And he posed it like that. And I really loved that way of thinking. It's what did my year look like last year? What did my month look like? What do I expect it to continue to look like? And do I have time to add in that active direct ownership piece of real estate? And do I have the desire to? I think that's a big portion. Do I have the desire to do it? And the answer might be yes. And if the answer is yes, then I think you should dig deeper. And then I think you should study it and learn it and decide if you can find the properties and that's something you want to do and grow that portion of the business, move forward. By all means, do it. It can be rewarding, it can be fun, it can be challenging, it can be very profitable. It can also be not so profitable if things go wrong, but it can also be the same thing with passive, right? It can be fun, it can be challenging, but it's just much more passive, and and you can still lose money, yes. You can still make a lot of money, yes. But it goes both ways, right? So again, think about what's going on in your life and decide, is it worth me buying a business and building that business out and improving that business? Do I have the time? Do I have the energy? Do I want to put the effort into it? And if the answer is yes, go do it. If the answer is no, then look at your other passive routes. And I've mentioned several of them already. There's others available. Okay. Go look at those passive routes and decide which one's the best for you. Everybody should own real estate. I firmly believe it. Everybody needs to think about how that ownership looks for them and how it fits them in their lifestyle. Hey, thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you being a loyal listener. Say, I would love to have you go on to our Facebook page and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, go on to iTunes or wherever you listen and give us a rating and review. Don't forget to subscribe. But your rating and review just helps us push this out to more and more people and continue to grow our audience and hopefully positively affect a ton of people out there that really need this and want this. So the other thing I've got for you is a free ebook on my website. So go on to venturedproperties.com, venturedproperties.com, and download our free ebook on real estate and on syndication. And I've got some data points in there, some really good stuff for you. So I'd love to have you take a look at that. It's free. I'm not expecting anything from it. And also, look, if you want some help in multifamily, want some help learning, growing, getting your business off the ground, I would love to talk to you about what it would look like to work with me potentially and see if that's a good fit. So you can go to coachwithdex.com and check that out. And we can definitely have a call. Thanks a lot for listening. You make it a fantastic rest of the day. I'll catch you on the next episode.